Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a yoga. I'm an empath, and I just like doing these little talks on how I feel about things. And today's pretty good. Take two. Today's a pretty good day. I went out early because I don't know, we're getting some kind of solar flare or something. Temperatures have been down in the 80s for a couple weeks, man. Just pleasant, content, and all of a sudden, 99. It tells me we're in some kind of pocket of something. Energy. That's what it tells me, because heat is energy, Whether it's spiking in people's collective astrology or who knows, but things are heated up around here today. Even I always like to ask the people that I run into at the cash registers, what's the climate, And there's one today. It's leaking on me. Today it was power as POS systems down at the grocery store, and freaking people were having to wait, and people were not happy. They were disgruntled people, and it's just amazing to me how many things happen and how much hostility exists for it was just a misunderstanding. This woman ring up this dude, this one transaction that she told me about, because she told me about how this guy came through, and his total was like 701 or something, and she was trying to help. He didn't want to do, oh, it's stupid, I put $1 on my credit card, and she was trying to help him, work a way around it, and then he took offense to that, and so he freaking got belligerent, I guess, with her, and she got scared. Like, she was scared, and the thing is I don't think, for the most part, people that get scary and stuff, they're not violent. People aren't violent for the most part. The thing of it is that we all have emotions, and we all have psychology, right? We all have a frame of reference. We all have a place where we came from, and we all had, there was a time that we didn't do things, and then we learned how to act certain ways, right? So, well, when I was a little kid, I used to throw tantrums. I just get so much energy. I found out I was older, I'm autistic, and I used to just freaking have so much energy, I didn't know what to do with it. So I figured if I freaking just, hit, not people. I've never been a hitter of people except to defend myself. But if I hit the wall or hit my fist against something, that would break my emotion. It's release. It's emotional release is what it is. And I had a speech impediment when I was a girl, so I talk like this, and people don't understand me, and I talk really fast, and then I thought I was hearing impaired. If there was something wrong with her, which I was tested for it, you know what I mean? I just process things different. They didn't know a lot about autism in the 70s and 80s and things like that. They still don't. They still got a lot of stuff wrong. Extrasensory. People pick up an extra sensory stuff all the time, just because, like today, the dude that had a meltdown, he was thinking about something else, and that was the last straw, you know what I mean? But what happens is there's so much stuff that we don't have control of, and people are always saying, control your own destiny, we are your own manifestor. Yeah, to an extent, only to an extent, but there's a lot of stuff that just happens, circumstantial stuff that just happens, they're inevitable. Like people dying, it's inevitable, but when they die, it's unexpected. It can be unexpected, and that could be a tower moment, to a lot of people, and so, you go. My generation, it was Vietnam. The guys coming back from Vietnam, all broken and drunk, broken and damaged from Vietnam. Mom dated a bunch of dudes that like to beat her, get drunk and beat her up, and have, recall post-traumatic stress stuff, right? Every generation has war because it's what they profit from. It's how these generals and stuff get richer, and, their sign-on bonus is tax-free. All this stuff, it's just all coming down because it's not worth it, because there's no threat. You know, there's no threat bigger than the threat that we're causing when we go over and freaking bombing people in their beds and stuff like that. I mean, America would not like that if that happened to us. That is for sure. Anyway, so, you know, because there was so much pain and hurt that came from my generation, 70s, you know, people that had kids, my generation overcompensated and overprotected and kept them overcompensated with protection, right? So now you got all these kids that, you know, you have a generation with too much stimuli, and then you have a generation that doesn't, you know, that hasn't seen a whole lot of gross, ugly stuff, right? And then you have the, you know, planetary changes and all that stuff that goes along with it, right? So now more stuff's starting to happen. You know, whether it's infrastructure related, weather related, you know, floods, you know, gas bombs and or buildings blowing up because of, you know, gas mains and stuff in cities. It doesn't matter. We're getting, people are, you know, fires, you know. Now just look at all the fires that haven't happened, though. You know, think about how all the reports that we haven't got. We are blessed every day. You know, we're always giving examples of why we should be grateful, you know. Look outside the box a little bit, and maybe that gratitude will go, yeah, you know, there was not a lot of structure at the last fire, and a lot of structural damage in Reading. You know, thank God, you know, thank God. Last week, and there, you know, evacuations over and all that. You know, for best of my knowledge, my buddy that had to evacuate, as far as I know, he never had to evacuate before. I don't know, maybe he's had to evacuate before. What I'm saying is things are happening in life that is giving more people cause for concern, you know. Like, I'm always like, I got a freaking go bag for the dogs and stuff like that, you know. I know where all their, that is a yellow jacket, that is a black jacket, and he was right here, and the freaking dragonflies shoot him, ran him off. That was like, oh, that was kind of cool. Thank you, dragonfly. You know, but when I was a kid, I was outside all the time. I was always on my bike. I was always outside climbing trees. You know, we never had video game consoles and stuff like that. Maybe the neighbor kids did, but, you know, none of that stuff really interested me. I just would rather be outside, and that's how I got rid of all my energy. And now I look around and I look at a society, and I'm like, where do people freaking, where's the release? Where do they let go of their stress? We need stress stations. Can you imagine? I imagine all the time, stress stations where you go to, like, you know, especially like on the interstate, at the rest houses and stuff like that, or rest stops, bathrooms, stuff. You go in and freaking, like, I don't know, if they had skeet shooting or something, you know, something where you could freaking, or, you know, you could just freaking break glass or something, just throw plates at a wall or something, just where you could get your frustrations out, get that release, you know. Other people look for release in other ways. Sex is huge. I think sex is the biggest. I just think it's the biggest, broadest spectrum of dark to light. It's just such a vast spectrum, you know, in an all things possible universe, you know. Sex is, I always thought that one was kind of dumb, because people go through so much. Think about how much money people spend and effort, and they try to pretend like there's somebody that they're not, to impress somebody that they don't know, and that maybe if they did like, they probably wouldn't like anyway if they did know him anyway. I mean, I totally misspoke. They don't even know, and if they did know, they probably wouldn't like anyway. You know, it's hard to tell what people are really about when they're all gussied up and wear so many fancy clothes and shiny buttons that, you know, what are they all about inside? What are they about in there? It's like, Mom, man, you go out in the world, man, and people are just like, me, and I'm just like, sure, after you. By all means, go after you, you know. like the lady at the, one lady, because people were getting ugly, and we weren't even waiting that long when the point of sale thing went down at the market, and there's an older lady in front of me. I said, I think they're gonna open this register next, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay myself down there, because there are these people back here, they just want to jump on it, And freaking one lady, I was just like, at your age, man, she was next, dude. Rude, man. Really? When did next person in line mean last ever? No. And the lady was embarrassed. All you gotta do is freaking, and then there's like people cutting through the lanes just trying to get through, and then people just sparing off into space, man. Humans are like zombies, man. They just don't really know what's going on around them. Yeah, when's the last time you went out and just watched people? Just watched them. Just sat there. No judgment. Just watch. Just watch. Just like you can tell, people tell you who they are, man, that's for sure. So I went out early today and I got my freaking, went to the grocery store and I even went back inside because I forgot my cottage cheese, and I'm like, it almost wasn't worth it. Second trip back in, I'm like, Marge, when you want your cottage cheese about 4:30, 5 o'clock this evening, and you don't have it, I wish you'd gone back inside. Oh yeah, I am. So I went back inside, got my cottage cheese, because it's all I really feel like eating, that and vegetables these days. Anyway, so maybe the world will come up with more stress stations, where they can relieve stress in a nice neutral way, where they don't have to freaking, pop off and then come up with less than creative ways and more harmful ways to make things happen. So anyway, that's about all I got for today. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.